first time I come here.
Well, we've been watching your world for many years as well. Most entertaining.
Well, thank you for keeping an eye on us also.
Absolutely. After all, your family.
We're fun.
What would you like to discuss?
I saw a video about a year ago, and you were saying that there were already contacts between extraterrestrials and humans. I guess they were preparing us for the contacts, but they were on the personal basis.
Yes,
Uh,
at first.
so one of the things that caught my attention is that as soon as the human turned the other way, they will forget right away.
Yes.
Why is memory so fragile in human people?
It's not that it's fragile. It's being induced that way on purpose. Because the rate at which you choose to remember on your own acts as a barometer and a measurement for us to let us know when you're ready for more conscious contact. This is being done on purpose that you forget.
Well, in my personal case, it seemed like I've been working to be on the now most of the time.
Working to be in the now,
Yes.
that's not what you need to work at. You have to work to not be in the now. Being in the now is just a matter of relaxing into your true self. You don't have to work at it.
Okay.
You just have to allow it.
But it seems like when I'm on the now,
Yes.
I get to forget a lot of stuff that I used to.
That's fine. Remember, we have said we have no memory at all. But we know that we will know what we need to know when we need to know it. Because we're living in the now. And therefore, in whatever the now is, that now will contain all the information we need to experience that now as fully as it needs to be experienced. We don't have to rely on memory. Because we're constantly shifting. We're constantly new people. We constantly have new histories anyway. So what is it you're attempting to remember if you're constantly changing your history?
Well, you already answered my question, because my next question was going to be, can you give me a tool so I can remember it? But now I have to remember, because whenever I need, wherever the need, it will come to me.
Yes.
And another question I have,
Therefore, we do not need an arbitrary medium of exchange.
okay, do you have any messages from my higher self?
I already told all of you that if we did, we would tell you.
Good enough.
These are messages from your higher self right now.
Thank you very much.
Thank you.
Hello, Bashar.
And to you, good day.
Hi, I have a question for you. Oh my God, I'm really nervous.
You are excited?
I think so, yeah.
All right.
I have a lot of emotions going on right now. Okay. When I
Calm
was
down. Take a breath. Take a breath.
When I was 5 years old, I was sleeping with my grandma, and I woke up in the middle of the night, and I saw a woman. She looked human. She had very short hair, and she was wearing like a suit or long sleeve and pants.
Yes.
I also remember seeing a light, and I see a reflection on her head and in her shoulders. I couldn't see her face. My question is, was that an alien, or was that me visiting myself from
Both.
another reality?
Both. Because in that other reality, that version of you is an extraterrestrial.
Because when my grandma turned on the light, she disappeared.
Yes, I understand.
Yeah. Also, on 2010, I woke up paralyzed in my house.
This is again typical.
Okay.
The idea of the paralysis can happen for a few different reasons, but primarily it happens because you are being shifted to another reality. And therefore, it's simply that you're not operating under the normal physical parameters, and therefore you don't know how to move in the new reality yet.
Right. And I heard voices,
Yes.
and they didn't sound human. So was that abducted, or did
If
something
you want to
happen?
use that term, yes, you were shifted to another dimensional plane and had interactions with other beings, yes.
Were they aware of me being aware of them?
Absolutely.
Okay, so they did it on purpose. They wanted me to be aware of them.
Absolutely. Because that's what you requested,
All right.
even though you don't remember that.
Okay. I'm gonna ask a really stupid, dumb question, but
There is no stupid, dumb question.
okay. Is Barack Obama and Osama bin Laden the same person?
Say that again.
Is Barack Obama and Osama bin Laden the same person? I watched this video and it almost convinced me, and now I'm really curious.
No.
Oh, okay. Good, thank you. Okay, thanks. That's all.
All right. Thank you. I know that most of you are thinking, yeah, that was pretty stupid. But that's all right because it opens a door to something else altogether that will come in some of our future transmissions. So nothing goes to waste with us.
Hello, Bashar.
Andrew, you good day.
And
I'm
thank
always
you all
making
for
sure
sharing.
that you're all awake.
And thank you all for sharing. I've learned so much.
It is our pleasure to reflect back to all of you what you already know but have forgotten.
Yes, yes. I want to know if I'm on the right path, you know.
Are you acting on your highest excitement to the best of your ability with no insistence on a particular outcome? Yes or no?
I do.
Then that's it. You're on the right path.
Okay.
You're aligned with the path that you are. Please do understand that from another perspective, a path is not something that you're on. A path is what you are. You can't be off yourself.
Definitely.
So the question is, are you being yourself as fully as you can? And if the answer is yes, then you are expressing the path you are in the most aligned way.
I feel that.
You can't really be off your path, but you can certainly express your path in a misaligned way, an unaligned way.
I have some. Thank you.
Yes.
I have some questions in regards to like racism. You know.
Yes.
I'm a therapist, a mental health therapist.
Oh, all right.
And I've been trying to heal myself as well as some other individuals. And one of the theories or philosophies I've kind of moved towards is that in order for me to really truly work on ending the racism, you know,
Yes.
is to not see myself as a black man, an African American male, but as a human being,
Yes.
as a spirit, as a
Yes.
loving being.
Yes.
And I feel like if we can start moving and getting rid of and removing ourselves from identifying with race, you know, we can really begin to transform and begin to heal. Thank you. So
And
I feel,
by the way, you all are everything
yes,
anyway.
yeah,
Therefore, every expression is still a reflection of you, no matter what or how it's expressed. And B, even physiologically, there really isn't any such thing on your planet anymore as a pure race.
yes.
And besides which, you're all hybridized anyway with
Definitely.
extraterrestrial DNA. So you all have that in common.
Yeah, I'm at the point where I feel like anything, like a lot of the religions, and I feel like anything that is separating us
Yes.
is not of.
Well, it's the negative energy. It's the negative mechanical energy. Negative energy segregates, disconnects, separates, spirals downward. Positive energy integrates, expands, spirals upward. So it's just a question of which direction do you prefer?
Yeah, as a clinician, when I'm talking to other clinicians and they're really accepting of culture and race,
Yes.
it's really kind of difficult because I kind of feel like I'm alone in that belief system.
Well, you're
that
not.
we have to.
You're not alone.
Thank you, Bashar.
Well, you have a room full of people that are also with you here.
Yeah. I love you all as well. And that was for me. I have 2 daughters.
Yes.
And a father that I'm struggling with. So I just want
You're having a challenge with.
I'm having a.
You don't have to struggle.
Yeah, definitely.
Remember, there are no inherently difficult situations, only definitions that make them seem so. So you want to remove the struggle, change your definitions of your relationship to the circumstance. Anything else?
Yes, when it comes, I have a 7-year-old daughter,
Yes.
Hannah, and she tends to
She
grind.
chooses.
She chooses to grind her teeth in her sleep, you know.
All right.
And she seems to be really anxious at times.
Yes.
I wanted to know what is it that I can do as a father to kind of help her through that process.
Do you tell bedtime stories?
No,
Why not?
not often, no.
Well, maybe you need to tell some more. Some more stories about the idea of what kind of realities there could be. Get her to exercise her imagination a little bit more about what the possibilities could be for her, what kind of reality she could be experiencing on the earth in the years to come. Get her to focus on the things that excite her.
Definitely. And
get her to exercise her imagination. Get her to relax into her truth. And then she'll relax everything else.
And I have a 9-year-old, Helena.
Yes.
And with her, she just recently had a really bad spider bite.
Oh, all right.
Like 2 days
How
ago.
exciting.
Yes. And, I struggle with...
You struggle a lot, it seems.
I'm challenged with using antibiotics, and I'm trying to find a way to really, I've used some...
Echinacea in the system in large amounts will completely obliterate poisons.
Okay, I've definitely given her the echinacea and vitamin C.
All right.
So thank you so much. And with my father, I love him, but I feel like he projects a lot of his negative energy onto me.
All right, but again, you only experience what you choose to accept as true for you. So what difference does it make what anyone projects if you don't accept it? You won't feel it. You will simply have the compassion to recognize them, that they are going through their own challenges and may have been brought up with definitions that are out of alignment with their truth. And you can see them through those compassionate eyes and do not have to experience the same idea, because if you choose to accept that negative vibration from them, then all you're doing is compounding the same negative energy you say you don't prefer. So you're just reflecting back to them what they're already giving to you. Why do that?
I'm learning.
I know you're learning. But you can choose to understand that no matter what anyone says to you, what they're basically telling you is their truth, what they're experiencing. It's just that they're projecting it on someone else because they're afraid to look at it within themselves. You should know that.
Yes, and
so what's it got to do with you? Be an example to them of what they could be, and at least you give them a chance to change. Be affected by it negatively, and all you're doing is reinforcing where they're already at, and that doesn't give them any chance at all.
That's definitely...
All right, so come on.
Stand
up straight.
When I try to ignore him...
I beg your pardon?
When I try to
I beg your pardon? When you try to ignore, I'm not telling you to try anything, and I'm not telling you to ignore him.
Okay.
I'm telling you to observe neutrally that he is experiencing something that is not your preference to experience.
Okay.
Period.
Okay, I have it.
You don't have to try to ignore him. Completely and absolutely recognize him for what he's doing, but that has nothing to do with what you need to experience. So don't experience it.
Right. Thank you, Bashar.
You're very welcome.
Appreciate you.
And you as well.
Hello, Tadeo.
Nania.
We have about 30 minutes left, and we already have 2 people that will be coming and asking a question. So, how many more questioners should I pick?
That many.
That would be like 22, the way it sounded in my ear. Are you having a challenge back there, Gary? No?
Wasn't him.
Ooh.
You may pick 2 more.
2 more. Patty Abram. Patty, do you want to ask a question? Okay. And Diana Gaddis? Here she is. Okay, great. Why not?
Hello, Bashar.
Hello, you good day.
I work in a health food store,
Oh.
and one day it was kind of slow, so I was in the back watching a YouTube video,
Yes.
and it was an elderly scientist relating his experiences at Area 51.
Yes.
And his job was to reverse engineer parts of UFOs.
Yes.
And he said that he found that they operated by anti-gravity and that
Some of them, yes. Not all
Okay.
of them. There are different technologies for different craft.
and he found an element, germanium, was
Yes.
used. And I thought to myself, wow, that's kind of interesting because we sell germanium, but the last time I had ordered it was 15 years ago. And I thought, well, that's kind of neat. Well, at that moment, the doorbell rang. I stop the video. I walk out, and a tall, thin, young guy walks in real fast and says, "Do you have any germanium in the store?"
Yes.
And I said, I laughed. I said, "Well, no, but I can order it for you." And he says, "No, thank you." And he turned around and walked out
Yes.
real fast.
You have
So-
increased the amount of synchronicity in your life. Anytime you expand your consciousness, you will see an upsurge of synchronicity as one of the side effects that
I
lets you
noticed
know
that.
you're in proper alignment with yourself at that moment as a marker.
Yeah. And I was wondering, was he an alien?
I know you were going to ask that. Let's just say he was willing to be a mirror and has very strong connections to other places, hence his willingness to flow in your synchronicity at that moment.
Okay.
It's not exactly what you think, but it's something we haven't discussed yet. There are different kinds of groups of beings on your planet that are willing to provide services of certain types. You don't know much about them, and we'll talk about them someday,
Okay.
but you just encountered one.
Oh, interesting. And I was wondering too, I love cats and I love the felines. Is there a race of, quote, cat people that sent their DNA here for the felines?
No, not exactly like that. We are aware of the fact that there are races that might have some similar features to what you would recognize as feline-type features, but they're not really cats, and they don't really have a direct connection to your cats genetically, no.
Mm-hmm. Okay. And are cats on a, can they?
They can
are
see into other dimensions quite readily. Haven't you noticed that?
Yes, I have.
All right.
I have.
Well, they're good reflections about what's going on around you that you could tune your senses to and begin to perceive what they're perceiving by making a link to their consciousness.
Yeah, it's really cool.
Remember, now we don't mean this derogatorily. Animals are smarter than you
Mm-hmm. I believe that. I do.
because they're focused in just being that. They're specialists. And therefore, their intelligence at specializing is exceedingly high, whereas you are generalists. You understand?
Yeah.
So they function as reflections to you of different parts within your generalized consciousness. So cats can represent perception of higher frequency domains, beings, and so forth, doorways into other dimensions that you all have the natural ability to do, but the cats can help refine it for you.
Mhm.
Yes?
Yes.
All right.
Okay. Well, thank you. It's like-
Shibai,
Andrew, you good day. Shibai.
I have question about some people think about uterus is connecting to universe. So some women in Japan, they put crystals in their vagina. Does it work?
You remember what we said about permission slips? It isn't a necessary practice, but if they believe it works for them, it's up to them to create an idea that they believe will allow them to give themselves more permission to be more of who they are.
Okay.
You understand?
Yes.
All right.
And is it true uterus makes some electronic?
Electronic?
Yes.
Are you sure that's the word you wish to use? There is a flow of energy through the uterus, of course,
Okay.
but it's not what you would typically refer to as electronic.
Okay. Maybe it means energy.
Well, yes, energy, of course. Energy flows through all your organs. Everything in you is made of energy. And different things can symbolize different frequencies, different resonant patterns that represent connections to different ideas within creation, within the universe. Yeah.
Okay, thank you. And I have another question.
Yes.
Lately, I don't get frustrated or angry so easy, but lately I was really frustrated about like too much mom's boy,
Too much
like mama's boy.
mama's boy
Mama's boy.
with someone you have a relationship with?
Yes.
And so, what do you want to do about that? What kind of conversation do you feel you need to have with that person?
Whenever I felt I told him everything, but
And what happened?
and I tried to find my belief system,
Yes.
and I thought too much. Everybody respect mom. We love mom, but too much I feel like it's too much.
All right. Are you saying that this person is vibrationally incompatible with the kind of relationships you prefer to have?
A little bit.
Then why are you having a relationship with them?
But I was thinking about that.
Well, if you have determined that you're not vibrationally compatible, then move on.
Okay. Thank you.
Well, thank you.
Thank you.
Forward into those desires.
Oh, all right.
I picked up learning how to create herbs, grow herbs, and use them for those intended.
That's exciting.
And I also have a struggle.
You do?
Yes.
Why?
Because I have a family that is around that doesn't understand.
Oh, family again.
Yes.
They don't understand me.
And so it seems like I get a lot of flack and
Flack.
And
Do you have a flak jacket?
and a lot of negative energies that kind of keeps me
No, don't go there.
Okay.
You know better than that. It doesn't keep you anything. You choose.
I choose it.
So why choose it? What excuses and reasons do you give yourself to lower yourself to that vibration when you know you don't prefer to exist in that state of being?
Just to have the courage to stand up and let my light show, or
Yes.
I guess that's the answer to it.
Well, again, it's simply a matter of making a choice of what you prefer, and knowing that making the choice to be yourself, whether they know it or not, is actually what helps them best. They don't have to know that. They don't have to see that. You know it. So stay in a positive vibration to give them the assistance and the opportunity that they need, because you know better. Do you understand?
Right.
You don't have to succumb to the vibration that you don't prefer that they may give to you.
Okay.
Just look at it as an offering. We offer you the chance to lower your energy. No, thank you. I love you. That's a lovely gift. No, thank you.
Okay. So,
Keep it simple. You don't have to make such a melodrama out of this.
Okay.
Yes?
Yes.
All right. They don't have to believe as you do. You don't have to believe as they do. They give you flack. Again, understand that you're acting in a way that reminds them of things they don't prefer about themselves. That's why you get the flack. Because they resent being shown what they're afraid to look at.
Okay.
You understand?
Yes.
But that's actually the best way to help them, whether they know it or not.
And by doing that, I can raise my level
Of
higher and
course.
higher.
Of course.
Yes. Okay.
Why not? What stops you? Nothing. Nothing but you stops you.
Okay. Thank you very much.
Does that help you?
Yes.
Oh, all right. Thank you.
Hi, Tadeo.
Nania,
It's me again.
did we go through all the questioners?
Was there one last questioner? Yeah. We did, because I'm the last person
Oh, all right.
to ask you a question that came from our Ustream listeners.
All right.
Okay.
You stream, we stream.
We all scream for ice cream. Okay. Okay. The question is,
Yes.
what is the idea behind the mass agreement that is pretty much in all human cultures where women are held to be inferior and treated badly?
Well, it wasn't always that way, you know.
Yes, I do.
All right.
But maybe everybody else. I don't know.
So obviously that comes from fear. Yes?
Yes.
It comes from sensing the power, but not believing that that power exists within the self. It comes from the idea of separation and not understanding that each contains both in ways and proportions that are appropriate to each. It comes from the denial of that energy within the self from the male perspective, and therefore the fear of that energy when they perceive it within themselves. And thus, again, the projection onto someone that reminds them of what they're afraid to look at within themselves. Therefore, they do everything in their power to push that down by projecting it on others who represent that. Make sense?
Are you kind of saying that the reason that men look down on women is because
they're
reminds
afraid of
them-
their own femininity because they have been taught to believe that that equals weakness instead of strength. But when they start to understand that the balance of the male and the female is true strength, they will not be afraid of the polarities within themselves, and they will not need to diminish what represents to them what they're afraid to look at within themselves.
Yeah, so you've explained to us that all things, including like hormonal levels,
Yes.
in our projections of consciousness, they're symbols that represent fundamental beliefs.
Yes.
And also, I would imagine it's some sort of experience that an individual is wanting to have, or a group of individuals in the
Yes,
form of males.
But now in this transformational age, the overall idea is to balance all that out.
Right. So if our race of males is imbued with very intense testosterone that perhaps leads to behavior like war,
Yes.
where it's thrilling
Yes.
to go into battle.
Well, when they deny themselves the opportunity to express themselves fully in their passion, then they have to find their thrills somewhere. And they're going to find their thrills in things that are representative of their disconnection from themselves.
So you're basically saying that as males start to really follow their passion and express themselves in more creative ways because they've already done war for so long
Yes.
that they're kind of tired of it, and realize that they can get the same
Yes.
rush
Yes.
from doing what's really exciting and passionate.
And
for
in
them.
balance with those energies, yes. Bringing out their creative side, their nurturing side in a more balanced way will allow them not to need to carry the idea of self-annihilation because they fear themselves and hate themselves so much that they carry around a death wish and thus project that death wish on others. You understand?
I'm actually trying to observe that, but this You're saying that any male that is
War
excited,
is a death wish.
So
What they're saying is, if I don't learn to live in the moment by putting myself in harm's way and learning from that, the only other alternative is to die, is to take myself out.
And I know that, because we're very patriotic, and we certainly want to support the people who are over there giving their lives for causes that are very important to us.
You can do that, but at the same time, you can also teach them that it can be done in more positive ways. So they don't have to annihilate themselves in order to support that position, which actually only increases more and more of the position that requires more annihilation.
So the fact that our society at this point, when we're threatened by very real threats such as terrorism, and there's individuals who feel that they need to be there.
But you also have to take responsibility for your part in co-creating it, because it doesn't exist in a vacuum.
So basically what you're saying is that this level, the reality that we've created, may require people to behave in that way, but they can transmute that energy simply by
becoming sane. Because what you're experiencing is a reflection of your insanity.
As a populace.
Yes. You are insane.
And so we're seeing, most of us are pretty distressed by the suffering and
because you are becoming sane. And as you become more sane, you will realize that you are waking up from the insanity and allowing yourself to discover new, more imaginative and creative ways that you can accomplish what needs to be accomplished and balance out the relationships in the world. But first, you have to balance out the relationships within yourselves. As long as you exist in cultures that fear the relationships within themselves of all the different energies that each individual contains, the longer you will continue to fear what you see in others that are reflective of those relationships you're afraid to look at within yourself. And it will escalate and escalate and escalate until it's no longer even recognizable as the original idea. And it simply becomes an exercise in perpetuating insanity because you have gone insane and don't know how to get out of it.
So really, when you think about it, at this stage in our development, while this is part of our reality, there are those individuals who are, in a sense, very brave in being willing to reflect this to us and to show us that we need to make new choices about
them, but encourage them to understand and encourage yourselves to understand that they are giving you an opportunity to change things in a different way so they don't have to sacrifice themselves on that altar anymore.
And this is something as a collective populace that we need to.
These are the last remnants of the whole idea.
I was thinking about, you have your generals and the people who are telling people that they need to fight here or do this or do that. And then you have the people who are willing to do that and who are willing to support that, each for their own individual reasons. Of course. But many primarily because they really love our country and they want
That's understandable. But again, the love can be expressed in a way that's far more constructive for your country and your world.
So it's up to us to...
Well, who else? It's your planet.
Right. And that comes naturally with people following their excitement.
Absolutely.
They will start to recognize other alternatives for the behavior that we're at this point having to exhibit.
Yes, because again, remember, you cannot perceive what you're not the vibration of first. But when you get into that state of being, of balance, then suddenly you are filled with inspirations and imagination for alternative routes that you could never see before because you are not operating on that vibratory level.
And in that way, actually, by understanding these principles and learning and choosing to follow our highest excitement, deal with the negative energies that are coming up or whatever's out of alignment, ultimately, as a population, we will just start changing our behavior and start experiencing a new version of Earth that doesn't require
Why do you think that there is so much being presented to all of you now about the concept of what gender is all about. Yes?
Yeah.
You're being given an opportunity to understand yourselves from a higher point of view, that all of you contain all expressions of gender, all expressions of race. You are spirits that contain all these things, and there are brave souls who are willing to express these things in specific ways so that you get an opportunity to see that this is what you need to look at within yourself and be okay with the fact that you all contain all of these expressions, and that they're all powerful, and that they're all representative of creation. Yes?
Yeah, absolutely.
All right. So, the more you understand it and the more you act like you understand it, the less you will need to act out in ways that are self-destructive. Because you will start really loving all aspects of yourself and won't feel like you have to destroy any of those aspects because you're so terrified of looking within yourself to discover them, because you think that somehow discovering those things make you less than, instead of understanding that discovering them makes you more than.
I remember you once said that when we balance out the male and female energy in our society, that's when we will experience much of the kinds of challenges we're experiencing now being resolved.
Yes.
And that's because we've had both patriarchal societies and matriarchal societies, right?
Yes.
We've had a pendulum that's gone back and forth with that.
But now you can have, if you wish, a balanced society that expresses itself in a multitude of ways that are all equally valid.
And I'm realizing as I'm standing here that I really feel grateful to every person that's in my reality and this global reality that's willing to take on this challenge. I know that a lot of people sacrifice themselves in a way.
Yes, but this is why we say that you are not a kindergarten class. You're a master graduating class.
Yeah, because
it takes a strong soul to experience going through the idea of transforming darkness into light to this degree. So congratulations to you all for being where it's all happening, for choosing to be at this exciting time, this transformative time, this time when you get to really explore and experience, revealing to yourselves who you are as individuals and what kind of mass consensus you really prefer to have by changing yourselves as individuals and acting as the examples to the mass consensus for what kind of shift is possible and what kind of world you could be experiencing. Please take a short break. We will resume this transmission with your holotope experience and help crystallize and lock in the idea of your relationship to the mass agreement as it stands within your individuality. Take a quote.
Thank you, Bashar. Okay, so this is the part where we have the holotope. So we're going to take about a 15-minute break while we set up, and then we'll reconvene and take the next leg of our journey. Okay.
All right, we will continue the transmission by asking each and every one of you to let yourselves become relaxed. Take a deep breath in and let it out. And take another deep breath in and let it out. And one more time, take a deep breath in and hold it, and hold it, and hold it, and blow it out. Continue to breathe deeply, evenly, in a relaxed manner, letting your bodies relax, letting your mind relax, letting your soul relax, letting everything that you think you know of yourself relax and melt away, and just feel your being. And as you begin to do this, keep your eyes open and fixed on the center of the holotope as you lower your lights and bring up your music. and begin to drift into a dream. And allow yourself to look at the center, look at yourself, the center of your being, represented by the center of this image that glows before you. And as you continue to breathe, and as you continue to relax, and as you continue to let go of all those things that you know do not serve you, all the ideas, the definitions, the beliefs, the thoughts, the feelings, the behaviors, just let them go for now. Be in the moment, just be here, just be now. Let the vibrations of the colors flow through your eyes, into your bodies, along all of your nerves, wash over your skin, and let the vibrations of the colors in. Allow yourself to view the entire holotope as the mass agreement, the mass consensus reality. All the parameters, all this physical dream. And even as you take in the entirety of the holotope, as it represents the mass agreement of which you are a part, that you have agreed to be a part of, simultaneously, allow your eye to drift to one specific portion that stands out to you. One specific detail, be it a line, a color, a flicker of light, a shape, doesn't matter. But this one specific detail that stands out in the midst of the entire holotope is your individual reflection that shows you that you fit within the whole picture, yet at the same time, you stand out as unique, even aspects forms the whole picture. And without you, without that unique portion, without that detail, the picture would not be complete. You must exist for the whole picture to exist. You are valued and valuable. So value yourselves as you look upon this entire image, the mass consensus it represents. Value the single component, the single detail that is representative of you and your individual uniqueness. And the gift that you give to all other aspects by finding your place, by finding your position, by expressing your true nature in life, so it can add to the totality of the greater being that is also you. For the whole is also you. You are the whole. You are the parts. You are all that is within this.